culture usually runs with the woman's side. Like as much as you take the man's culture, she's mainly with the kids. She's more now teaching them on a day-to-day. Like as much as like you're a parent, like as much as you're both involved, her perspective was just like, what the decisions of where you're gonna go, the cultural, like what you're wearing, like all in her perspective was like the house is run by the woman, so that's the only reason. That's why that's the only thing she cared about.
Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Joanita Maaya. Welcome to Kenganda. This is the Repart podcast.
Woo!
I'm imagining an applause in the background. Anyway, guys, please introduce yourselves to our viewers.
Racheal?
Every time. I don't even know. I just don't start speaking. Anyway, my name is Racheal Nalumu, and I am a content creator, and I've lived in Uganda for 3 years now, but have been visiting, as you mentioned last time. I like that point. For 9 years, without counting when I was a kid.
Yes, DJmaintain, DJ and producer of Caribbean Heritage. Been visiting Uganda 6 years total, but living here for 4 years.
Yeah. Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Now, once again, with the Repart podcast, we discuss issues, happening and affecting the diaspora and Africa, with Uganda in particular. Now, I found this reel that I want to watch you guys, and then we can react to it.
Okay.
Let's go.
I can't categorically say every Nigerian got this talk. But a lot of Nigerians that travel abroad got this talk from their family, where they will sit you down and tell you, you're going there. Don't go and talk to those black Americans. You just go and get pregnant. You get into drugs. You become banging. They give you that talk. That just go to the white community, find a nice place. They just go and be decent. Stay with the white people. They give you that talk. So when you enter America, you already have a perception of African Americans. You've judged them.
That's it.
I don't think I had to watch the whole thing when...
We're just going to say, now you guys have been in the diaspora. You guys, did you get the talk? We're switching this from like Nigerians to Ugandans. This, it's a Ugandan thing
Africans.
now.
Or even just Caribbeans even.
Yeah. Did you get the talk from your parents, like stay away from your fellow Africans?
So right, did I get the talk? I'm trying to. You know what? I think I got more of the talk about my own Caribbeans. Like, my dad had major issues when he didn't marry a woman from Dominica, and he married my mum from St. Kitts and Nevis.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember my mum and my dad telling me about that, and I would, there was always like little isms about other islands, so like, oh, don't date a Bayesian, they're rude. Oh, don't date Guyanese, they can't. Or things like there were always little things like that, and I always would listen to my parents, and I'd be like, but all my Caribbean friends are cool. Like, like we're not so much like that. Maybe their parents are, but they never showed me that side. But so I think it's something that's that stemmed a lot from my parents' time, and when I was growing up. Like we said earlier, right? When you're in London and you're from different Caribbean islands, you're just Caribbean. You just pull together. Exactly. So I think it was more prevalent with my parents because they were like, my dad literally grew up in Dominica till he was about, say, 16, and then came to London. So he maybe brought those prejudices with him, and then brought it down to me. But my dad didn't push that narrative too much. It was more my mother. And and I'd be like, Mum, for real? Seriously?
You?
yeah. I like that Bayesian girl. She's nice. So I think it's just it's interesting. I don't know where these opinions were formulated, but I'd have to ask them one day. But that's kind of my personal experience.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Racheal?
Ooh, I don't even know where to start. All right, so that just triggered so many different things. No, not in like that way, but more like there's so many different perspectives and things I want to like touch on. But for sure, one would be, just to answer, because I will forget your point about where it comes from.
Yeah.
I know the perception on media is so powerful. Hence why it's so beautiful now that people have the power with their own phones to expose the world on different things. Hence Kenganda podcast, your social medias, my YouTube is showing Uganda in a different light, showing other countries in a different light. Why it's so powerful is there's only very few media outlets back in the days, especially when people were relocating. So they had one perspective of what certain people were looked like and whatever. So for example, in my community growing up, there was a lot of, you can't be with Jamaicans because of however, dreads, drugs, whatever it may be. Nigerians, 419, 419. They're just very aggressive. That's how their culture is. And then Muslims, because everyone knows the perspective of how Muslims are portrayed abroad. So a lot of it really was media. It had not, because you'd meet these people and you're like, but they're wonderful. And they're your neighbors. We go to their house, but you can't marry them. You're not allowed. And it only was marriage. It had nothing to do with friends. It was like, it's cool. You can be friends with people, but don't bring them home. So that was always and it wasn't like my house. It was literally a spoken thing around in communities, which is really sad. But I think it has a lot to do with media. But those were the main ones that I remember. And anyone with dreads, doesn't matter your background.
Right. As long as you have dreadlocks, you must be. As long as you look like a Rasta, it's like you're done for.
Yeah, and I don't know why that is.
It's even a Ugandan thing. Now Uganda is even worse, guys. You think you had the talk with Ugandans? It's worse. Ugandans judge everyone who doesn't look like them.
What's the reason for the dread thing though? Here?
No, they think if you have like dreadlocks, you're smoking weed.
Okay, so if you're smoking weed, then what?
Yeah, then like you're something else.
You're a mad person?
Because before the police actually used to arrest people who smoke weed. Like legit come to your house. If they could sniff it, then they're coming to get you.
Wow.
Yeah, even my university, they did a raid anyway.
I'm going to talk about that,
Where are you? I was watching, guys.
Before I forget. 419, what's that?
Smoking, is it?
No, fraud.
So it was like a fraud.
I don't know if it was a number specifically that they used, but whenever it started, I saw a YouTube video about this. I wish I had remembered it. But from the beginning of when the fraud started, it was like a certain scheme.
Oh, right.
Am I saying that right? Yeah, 401k is the US. 401k is the US. So it's 419,
Interesting.
But yeah, I think
Nigerian fraud, by the way, it was specifically Nigeria, unfortunately. Sorry.
Well, fill them up. Anyway, I wanted to say, did you actually follow them did you obey your parents when they told you, okay, don't play with this kind of person, or don't go over there, don't hang out with these people? When you're
a kid and they tell you don't touch fire, you go touch fire.
What?
I didn't listen.
You didn't think I was looking out for your best interest?
The thing is, I'm in school every day.
Yeah.
With my people, right? And these people got my back.
Right? Yeah, they're great
people. They're my homeboys. Like I'm just supposed to stop hanging with them because you went through something. When you was younger, you know, it was just I just didn't listen, and if you were you were horrible to me, then I gave you the wide berth. But really, wide berth. Like birth, you just give them distance.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know.
I had on this podcast today. Maintain is teaching us today.
So I didn't really listen. But
what about you, Racheal?
No, I was the most rebellious child, which is so funny. People are like, "You grew up in Ugandan houses." Like, you find me other places. So I didn't listen at all. I think my first. Okay, not counting like when you kiss someone when you're younger, they're like, oh, that's your boyfriend. But like my first boyfriend, actually no, my boyfriends have been African, but I think my first actual interest, they were Jamaican. One of my exes had dreads, but he was African, and his own mother was like, the spirits, cut your hair, your life will change. I was like, jeez, it's not that serious. But for me, no. All my friends were from all these places.
Just
didn't matter.
Yeah. That is so funny because most times kids they will disobey, but they will also, to a certain extent, they'll kind of follow it.
Some kids
I feel like a certain percentage.
For sure. Some because you just believe they're your parents, they got your best interests at heart, and if they're saying that, you have to follow it. But mine was sort of like not counterbalance, but it was like, okay, you're telling me this, and I get it, but my friends are they're cool. Like, obviously, there would be sometimes, like, we walking home from school and you walk a route where you can drop everybody home, right? And, you'd get to, like, I know your white friend's house, and I'll see you at school tomorrow. You see the parents at the door just looking at you like,
the curtain.
Yeah. So, it kind of rang true with regards to that. But when it was other Caribbeans and Africans, I didn't listen at all.
Yeah. But can I just say the kids whose parents tell them, oh, go hang out with the white kids, like you're going to get, far in life or ahead. And they actually do it. Yeah. And they actually, haven't you met a black person with only white friends and then like he's up there with them?
All the people I grew up with that were like that, it wasn't from the parents. It was just from them being like, I want to be accepted. And like, this is just my easier way, my easy route. These are the guys with the power. We're talking the last thing, power, who have the key to, So let me be
that goes back to also what you say, right? When the media are not doing their job correctly and they're pushing a narrative, which isn't true. And like, you're looking at it and you're thinking, okay, this is a media outlet. You must have done your research, and you must be like your ethical compass or whatever. It should be straight, but it's not.
Yeah, it really
it's not.
Is.
And then you've got people taking what the media is saying and then applying it to their everyday life to like come at us. And it's wrong. And that's why I think when I was growing up and I had so many different friends from all over the continent, you couldn't break us with your media. Because I've been around my friends, I've been around their parents, I've been to their homes.
Not your experience.
Not my experience at all. So media can do one, and I've been like that with media since I was a kid. Because I listened to hip hop as well, and that was a big theme in like Public Enemy's music and another group called X Clan that taught this,
people having a voice and a platform and using it properly, 100%. But bringing it back to Uganda, I gotta ask you, especially because you were here. So one thing I noticed growing up, and I actually didn't notice this until 2019. So I was grown woman and everything. And I was like, wow, I grew up in a Ugandan community where I just saw everyone as Ugandan, period, right? Like that was it. So there was never, like within the community, there was never anything of like, don't be around that person, don't be around that person, or anything like that. Then I came here and I was like, oh wow, people are really like growing up within Uganda saying you can't be around certain Ugandans, you can't be around certain whatever because of XYZ or, that's just how that side does this or that's how whatever. So I don't want to bring all of our talks back to tribalism, but did you experience that growing up for you? Like it wasn't maybe moving for us, like our parents moved to somewhere else and like don't be around Black Americans, but like essentially.
That's a very good question. I think with most Ugandans growing up, it's like stay away from people from the north.
Really?
And that's so
sad. Like it's very sad. There's no reason. It's just like people just associate the north. They had war and whatnot.
No, we had war down here,
right? We had war everywhere.
It was only like 40 minutes north from here. Like,
the country has been through the most. But most people think people from the north are just, I don't know, like they still stay away from such people.
Do they think they're violent?
It's not even violence. It's just like maybe they have like a resting face.
Right.
So it's like,
what it is?
I really don't know why. But even now, you'd still find some Ugandans thinking that way. But it's because they've not been exposed and they've not traveled
to the
north.
So that's what you were told specifically by your parents and family?
Oh, specifically? No, not by my parents.
But like society would say that.
Society. I think the one thing, the group my parents told me to stay away from.
This is what I would have known.
No, I think
you're just here to start tea. He's like, I just want the
I think
tea.
my mom was just like, stay away from people who drink.
Okay.
And I'm looking at you, Maintain.
It worked because you never come to any of my gigs, so it worked.
That was a joke. That was a joke. FYI, that was a joke. Whoa. But no, my mom, you just like you're like stay away from the kids who drink, the kids who party. Like stay away from the rebellious kids.
We wouldn't have been friends.
So I think that's the one thing my mom told me to stay away from. I think my dad was just like stay away from dumb people because when you stay around them, you're going to end up being dumb.
My mom used to always say birds of a feather flock together. But no, bring it back to like the north thing, which is really sad because I have heard that, and I think the only thing I can think of being in the museum, and I don't know if like it's as like I don't know if it was taught or something. This is me like perusing as an adult, but the whole like Bantu people having similarities and then non-Bantu and they're not Bantu. I don't know if that's where it started and then people just ran with it.
Yeah, I think it's also a thing because it's like the Luo, the Langi, whatever.
Yeah, like there's just different.
Yes.
Like, whereas when you're Bantu people, I think where Bantu people settled, they have more commonalities and such. That's the only thing.
I think that's true. I think that's true.
I think people just ran with differences versus how are we similar?
Yeah.
How can we?
Because with the Bantu people where they settled, the language, it's like, it's not that far off.
Yeah, like I can
even
hear
if it's a different,
pick up little things.
Yeah,
like,
it's not that different. But with the north and the central or the west or the, I don't know, not the east, you can still, it's there's a difference between the languages.
So a quick question.
Yeah.
So you're talking about Bantu and the language. So out of the 7 languages that you know, which is it most similar to?
Bantu.
Yeah?
Yeah. But society, I think the Ugandan society has, isolated people from the north. I don't even know why.
But not even just that, like even just within our own people, like you could see, I was just talking about this on the weekend with friends.
Yeah.
And just marriages, like even within Bantu with whatever people, they're just like, they're not of our tribe. Like you cannot get married. They're not of our tribe. Like stay away. Like they will date for 5 years and it comes for marriage and they're like, no, we do not accept that.
Yeah.
So say for instance, I approached either of you two's parents.
Yeah.
And I did everything right. I researched dowry. I looked at like traditions and did all that and showed I was willing to take care of you both.
Yeah.
Would that be enough? Would your parents say, yes, maintain, come,
I think
you're worthy? Or would they be like,
I think with the modern age, that would be fine. And my dad would just be glad to get rid of me. Take her.
oh, at last.
My dad would just be like, oh, okay. When do you want to come back?
I will pay you. Don't worry about the dowry. I will pay you.
We'll contribute to everything. But on a more serious note, my dad wouldn't mind, because already he's in an area that it's not where he was born. He's just exposed now. He knows so many languages and whatnot. So I don't, personally, my parents wouldn't mind, but I know some aunties would have an issue.
Right.
African aunties. They butt in.
Caribbean aunties too, yeah?
Listen, aunties worldwide.
Aunties worldwide, yeah.
That's so funny.
Especially the rich ones. So, Racheal?
I think even if my parents had stayed here, they're just more, they didn't grow up very like I'm a Muganda. Like they knew where they're from. They were very proud of their food and stuff, but they weren't like running through the hills very proudly, you know? So like my sister's husband, my brother-in-law, he's Italian and Dutch. Right. So already like in that sense, it's like they're okay. It's the same as you. They're just like the clock is ticking.
Girl.
What? They're like to the point where now they're asking what's wrong with you. I was like, nothing's wrong with you.
Parents in their shelf life,
right? So they'll be totally down.
But I did have an my auntie, my close auntie. She said she doesn't want a foreigner. She said, totally tell her no muzungu, like don't bring a white man here.
Right.
So I don't know why. She just said because I asked her why, and she's like, because the cultures will be different.
Yeah, and I
think she's probably just more scared for you.
You
know, because she knows that you're gonna face some sort of.
I don't know if I brought this up on this podcast or not before, or maybe on my channel, but I do know that. So like in the past, a friend's parent was explaining how it's just different. Like she was like, it's fine if her daughter was too, but not her sons. Oh. Yeah. So her perspective was just like, she was like, culture usually runs with the woman's side. Like as much as you take the man's culture, she's mainly with the kids. She's more now teaching them on a day-to-day. Like as much as like you're a parent, like as much as you're both involved, her perspective was just like, what the decisions of where you're gonna go, the cultural, like what you're wearing, like all. In her perspective was like the house is run by the woman, so that's the only reason. That's why that's the only thing she cared about.
I've come across, I've definitely come across similar situations personally. Like the guys can literally just date whatever. But the women, I had an Afghan friend, and she dated a black guy, and she was ostracized from her family, like they cut her off financially, like spiritually, all of that. And then her brother got engaged to a black girl, and they were all like, "Hey!"
Wow.
So I think it's unfair.
It is.
Yeah.
Even I was talking with my boyfriend about this the other day, and he was explaining how why it's important to educate like the girl child and everything, like from what his family was explaining, basically from the perspective of a guy will go and create his home elsewhere when he gets married. Like it's like you've created your house, you're married. The girl still takes care of or is expected to take care of the family as it continues to go.
True.
Yeah, so it's more like there's more power in the anyway. There's always perspective from people, but
it's interesting.
Yeah,
because you'll find in my opinion and my experience, not one person has the same answer about this. You know, because you said it's led by the women, and then it's like I was like, well, my experience is this is the guys. So it's like it's literally every person.
It's different.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah. Any last words?
Let's all love each other. Let's go back
Preach
to
love.
Preach love. Let's go back to that. Like, we're all the same. We're all similar.
Yeah, for real.
Okay, guys.
I second that, Rachel.
Yeah.
I feel you. Rachel.
Guys.
But it's just
Love each other.
love each other and take people on what they present to you, not
what
the
you're
media,
told.
Media
not
tells
told,
you, what other people tell you. No,
Yeah.
have your own
for real.
experiences.
That's
Live
it,
life.
straight up.
Explore, guys.
Yeah.
Even Ugandans don't like to move.
We don't.
Guys, domestic tourism is suffering. Let me represent the tourist
I
Push
hear that,
it out there.
please.
tourism
Push it out
minister.
there.
Guys, just move around. You know that people they've just been in Kampala. Really? Come on. Move. There's so many places you can be.
Yeah, so many.
But guys, thank you so much for watching. Please tell us what you think in the comment section. Tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, sure. Rachel.
Thank you.
Oh, he's ready there.
You can find me at Racheal Nalumu on
Yeah.
Instagram and YouTube. And you can Google as well. There's a lot of information for you on there. And back to you, Maintain.
Thank you.
dynamic.
DJ Maintain on all social mediums. I'm out there. The ones I'm on the most, because there's a lot to juggle and I haven't got a Kenganda Nation team behind me. But,
I'm with you on that.
but the most you get me on is Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most. If you want to holler at me for whatever reason, keep it clean.
Come party with
Instagram would be the best.
Yeah,
but
thank
I'm
you.
everywhere.
Yeah. And follow Kenganda Nation on all on Twitter, on Facebook, and Instagram. My name is Joanita. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.